Okay guys, so welcome to RCA. I'm Rez, and today's episode or adventure, we are going to be looking at LED dash lights. Yeah, so LED dash lights can really modernize a car's interior, or if your dash lights are pretty dull, like mine were, they can brighten that up. Come along on this adventure, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. Guys, so another thing I want to do to the car is I want to put in a tacho. Some people put tachos up here. You can put tacho gauges anywhere, aftermarket ones. But what I'm going to do is install a factory tacho, because these cars actually, some of them came with a tacho. So we're going to swap over this gauge, which just has your fuel, your speed, and your coolant temperature. And we're going to put in a gauge with a tachometer, so we can shift at the right points and have a tachometer for diagnostic purposes as well, because that's always good. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to need to take out this old cluster. So for this, all I'm going to need is a Phillips head screwdriver. You might need some trim removal tools or flathead screwdrivers, those star drive Torx bits to remove certain bits if you go to a European car. But yeah, this car's really simple, just a screwdriver, basic Phillips head to remove all that. Here's the factory setup. We've got some globes behind here and some globes in the cluster that are just incandescent halogen type globes, you know, the yellow light sort of thing, and that's how they light up. It's a lot duller in person, like this actually looks bright on the camera, but it's a lot duller in person, and I think even this one has blown. So we're going to change them out for some LED globes, which are a bit brighter. And yeah, you can even get different colored of LED globes. So we're going to try out some white and some red, and yeah, see how the different colors go. Alright, so it's time for the cluster to come out. The 4 screws, top and bottom, have all been done. You just lower your steering column with the factory steering column bit down here, and then you just wiggle it and it pops out off the factory plugs. And then you maneuver it. This is a bit more difficult with one hand, but it's reasonably easy to remove with 2 hands. And you can see here's the factory plugs that it just plugged into. Let's show you the back of the cluster. There we go. The factory plugs plugged into these 2 here. And this is an oldish car, so you've got globes. These unscrew, and you can see we've got some halogen incandescent type globe in there. And yeah, you can change all the globes if you wanted to. So we're going to do that today, but this is the old cluster, we don't want to change the globes in that. So we're going to put the new cluster in, which is this one. Let's show you the difference. So, new cluster, old cluster. So I've just got fuel, speedo, and water temp. And on the new cluster, we have tacho, speedo, water temp up the top there, and then fuel down the bottom here. Okay, so we're going to put this tacho cluster in, same way, awkwardly with one hand. Here we go. And we're just going to test it works before we go changing LED globes. Get the keys and test the tacho works, because that's the important part. Clusters all seems to be working. Got the odometer, and we're gonna change it over to the LED globes. Do red first and see how that looks, and then go on to white, because white is the color that I'm going to be wanting to keep. Okay guys, so I've quickly put in the red LEDs into the cluster just to show you guys how it looks with different colors. I'm going to show you how to put the white ones in properly, but this is just a quick one to show you the different colors you can put in. Red, blue, pink, whatever, yellow. Everybody likes different colors. I'm going to go for white after this, and that'll be the color that stays. But yeah, this is red. So everything lights up nice and red. Test out a bunch of colors. It's really cheap. The red probably cost me $3 to light this whole thing, plus like 10 spares of each type of globe. it's a cheap thing to do, so you can test out multiple colors really cheaply and yeah, see which one you like. But yeah, I'm gonna go for white, so we'll install the white next and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I've just got the cluster out here upside down. These are all the globes at the back and all the circuits and that sort of thing. The plugs go in there to give it all the information. So I know these blue ones, these 5, are going to be the ones that light up the faces, and all these other black ones and other ones are just there to light up like indicators and check engine lights and that sort of thing. Alright guys, as you can see here, these are some of the globes that I've tested out over the years. They're all white T10s of different sizes and different builds. So you've got like your standard T10 here with sort of like a glass plasticky lens. They're alright, they do the job, but they don't spread the light quite enough. Then you've got something like this, which is a massive globe that doesn't actually fit in the cluster, so you can't use that, but this might work for parkers or I don't know, something like that. I'll find a use for it one day. This one's got like a projector. It's actually a pretty good Parker bulb. That didn't fit in the cluster either. These ones fit in the cluster. They worked pretty good, but they're a bit expensive. And then I moved on to, Then I moved on to this one, which if you don't want to test out things, go straight to this sort of globe. You can get 10 packs off eBay for like $3 or $2 or whatever for 10. So they're really cheap, and because of these SMD chips, they have a really wide beam angle, which is the best I've found for clusters, and yeah, it lights it up nice and evenly. Okay, so all the globes are in their little fittings which go in the back of the cluster. They just push straight in, and yeah, you get your globe. Now LEDs, unlike the factory globes that would come in the clusters, so they only work one way, so the positive and negative have to be lined up. These ones just go in here, twist in, and then you pop the rest in. Then you plug in your cluster and see if there's any dull spots where a globe might have the wrong polarity, and then you pull out your cluster and turn that globe over and pop it back in again, check there's no dull spots, keep going until there's no dull spots, and all the globes are working fine. Okay, so LED globes in, one-handedly, awkwardly putting this back in the dash. This is so much easier with 2 hands. There we go. Popping it back on the clips, and now we'll see how many dull globes we have. Oh, we've got a lot. So only one of the globes seems to be actually working. So we're going to pull it back out, because these should be all lit up over here, and this one should be all lit up over here. Yeah, so we'll pop it out and swap those globes around. So looking at the front, we have the globe behind the tacho, the T5 which is up here, and the globe over here. It's not working, so I'll flip it around. This is the globe behind the fuel, so we just pop it out so it was that way, and we want to twist it in that way. There we go, that's reversed the polarity. This one should be the Speedo one. This is the T5 up here, which wasn't working, so it's in that way. We want to rotate it 180 degrees and then pop it back in. And I've got a globe over here, rotate it 180 degrees, pop it back in, globe over here, rotate 180 degrees, and pop it back in. And now everything should work. If it doesn't, then we'll test out the globes, rotate the ones that don't seem to be working again, and yeah, we'll see how we go this time. So that's in. There we go, we're all lit up. How easy was that? So let's put all this back together, and then we're going to move on to over here and put white LEDs in there, because that one is still blowing. Okay, so that fascia's off. We can see at the back there that we've got a T5 globe behind the clock, and I know from just knowing that there's a T5 globe tucked in behind here and a T5 globe tucked in behind here that we're going to replace as well. Another quick mention, you can also do things like your roof light. This is a 48 panel SMD LED type thing, and the roof light here takes a festoon globe, which this actual LED panel in there comes with a festoon fitting. So that was like $1.80 or whatever. So as you can see, significantly brighter than the factory halogen. And yeah, it's just another option of stuff you can turn LED in your car. So guys, the LED dash install is complete with white LEDs. It's looking really good. So we've got white LEDs. They're really nice coverage of the spread of the light and how bright it is everywhere. There's no real dull spots at all. And done over here as well. And my stereo, you can actually change the LED light color. So I made it white to match. Yeah, so everything dash light wise and backlit illumination is white, so it's all complete. Alrighty guys, that was installing an LED dash. Yeah, I didn't really like the red. It was a bit harder to see at night. So obviously I went for the white. You know, try out different colors. It's cheap, as I said. You can pick up all the LEDs you need for under $5. Hopefully you've learned something. Consider subscribing if you haven't already, and follow along with the rest of Res Car Adventures. See you on the next one. And if you have any questions about this episode, leave them below and I'll try and answer all of them. Alright guys, see you on the next episode.